Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Aloha. And I say, Dobrie Jen, Dobrie Ji, Jivot. Good day, good life to our Slovak viewers and listeners. And we are now into episode 65.
Yeah.
So that means when I say to people who don't understand, when I say we're into episode 65, Dena Marie and I have been meeting for 65 sessions whereby we delved into, plunge into her book. You can see the crystals on the front cover, and you can see a roadmap to health on the back cover. And it all started when Dena Marie interviewed me on her show, her weekly show, Lift Your Spirits. And she interviewed me about Loukas and the Game of Chance, my book for kids, tweens up into teenhood. And I'll introduce Dena Marie's book in just a bit. But so what happens is we exchange our energies and we exchange our spiritual understanding of how to survive, how to live a life fully and richly. That's what I keep learning from Dena Marie's book. And so what I do is I come up with a piece of writing each time. And today I say the title is Wise Words Empower. And speakers inspired to listen to wise words that are signs from spirit guides, enlightening them to find curative energy and manifestations of healing, hope, and redemptive freedom. I was looking for that about 10 minutes ago. Amen. And those thoughts are right in tune with the theme of Dena Marie's book. I was wending my way through the hallowed pathways illuminated by truth-telling and empowering wisdom in the healing pages of that is Dena Marie's, sacred sanctuary of a book compassionately titled Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading, to which you, as an author, boldly added a third title. You're not usually given a premium like that. And in your third title, you made a promise offered to seekers, to your clients, like me, who can, and this is the title, who can learn how to manifest your heartfelt intentions. And so on your book's pathways, I happened upon shards of spark-ignited revelations in the form of hallowed quotations. They just started coming to me. And wherever I went, sometimes in my morning meditation, when I do my morning meditation, I'll also read into mindfulness or read into Buddhism. And all of a sudden I started picking up from there and from your book, a kind of synchronicity about ideas, spiritual ideas, shards of spark ignited revelations in the form of hallowed quotations, signaling dynamic principles, prescriptions, prayerful teaching, spirit-tuned, heart-toned, doable, accessible, tried and true strategies for coming into the rhythm of life with gratitude, empathy, self-love. This is all over your book. I should be your agent and book you.
You are my agent.
Yeah, I should be booking you in at conventions and spiritual conventions, because I say gratitude, empathy, self-love. That's one of the highest, that's something that you've taught me so much about, and expressions of joyful presence in the here and now. And we were just talking about that in our pre-recording telephone conversation. Dena Marie, I'm going to ask you to put on your mantle of the sanctified role of a skilled celestial mentor. Ooh, that's a mouthful. And illuminate our listeners and viewers with your responses to wise words from your book and in other places as well, that reveal your passionate belief in drinking from the wellspring of the energy of open-heartedness, touched by joyful mind, to ride the rising tide of enlightenment and soul search. In your book, you lifted my spirits when you wrote, and this is you writing, I tell people to look for synchronicities, the coincidences that happen to help change your life. Paying attention to these signals can give you clues. I never thought about this. I mean, this is amazing. Helping you to tell the difference between the right and wrong paths to take in life. So I say to you then, when did you all of a sudden develop a firm belief in synchronistic happenings?
You know, and we and I are so in sync because I said, you know what I need is a manager. Take me on the road. That was this morning on my intentions. My intentions, my intent to inside is to make sure that I manifest this stuff out here for people to see. But when I was growing up, I thought, when did I start doing synchronicity this morning? And is when I started meditating and getting winks from the universe. It was too playful. And people would be like, when Dena's on, you can't make this shit up, is what they would say. You can't make this up. And I've had a few people get out of the car. They're like, Dena, today is too weird. I've got to go home, because you can't explain it, right? But if I'm in a good space, like you and I exercise in the morning and we have a positive attitude, and then all of a sudden you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, someone says something, and then you're sitting next to the person you've been looking for. But I didn't have it until I think I started working with the chakras. And the first thing you do is look up and ask the universe for what you want. What do you want today? Oh, it was a judge that said, Dena, make a motion. Make a motion, because I was being my own attorney. And he said, make a motion. I said, my motion is, I want it all. And he says, it's yours. But I was about to say, oh, you can have it all. I'll just take a little bit, or, whatever. And the voice is like, no, say what you want. And I did. And so I think open yourself to the higher chakras, looking up, counting your blessings, and then having fun. And that's what you're doing. Now you're starting to get the flow. You're starting to get these writings that come from above, and it's playful and magical. And now you're in sync. Yeah.
And thank God and Goddess for Post-it notes, because what I do in my readings, or wherever the illuminations come from, I just post it, I post note it to keep it close by, and I'll say, add it to my weekly writing, or put this inside the book, your book, meaning, somewhere.
When I wrote the album and I was in sync, I was in Hawaii in the morning riding my bike. So talk to text, email myself real quick, just so that because you will forget it. And it's good stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it was like, I forget what time it was, late last night, that I wrote some of what I'm reading to you right now. I mean, I needed words, and I say in your book, you startled me. Ah, yes, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. When you connected the wisdom found in synchronicities to a homily, this really came to me, to a homily on the metaphysics of synchronicities. To do so, you quoted a rabbi in your book, and you wrote, and I'm quoting here, there is no future. This is what the rabbi said. There is only now. You can have all the hope in the future you want, but if you do not act now, nothing will come of it. Isn't that amazing? And we talked about that in our phone conversation today. So how do you say that then? How do you interpret that?
So in the perfect spinning of your chakras, you ask for what you want, you count your blessings. Okay, this thing right here, you have a picture, a movie going on all the time right here. And if you're in the present moment, looking at nature, enjoying life, engaged with the person you're with, talking to them in the present moment, you'll get intuition. And it's a small, still voice, and it'll tell you to do something. It works. And it's like, today you want me to call so-and-so? It happened the other day on the treadmill. I was wondering about this memorial thing, what I should do. And it just was so perfect. I made a phone call. So instead of me thinking about it or saying that's stupid, or like even with you and I, my voice said that I wanted to talk to you every week on the phone. And you're like, you know me. Why would you want to talk to me every week on the phone? And look where it led us. But that was me having the spirit drive and then me acting on it. So I had to have courage, I guess, to ask you to talk to really a stranger and get to know each other. And, maybe with relationships, that's hard, but I did it. And that's the lower chakras. I wanted it, my heart. I acted on it, my solar plexus. Sacral is when you're working well with someone else. And the root chakra is when you finish something that was an idea, an intangible into a tangible. So every week we do something tangible.
Yeah, right. And so what's important about that whole movement is that having been on your radio show when we hardly knew each other, I think it was an automatic synchronicity, because then I thought, oh, she has a book. And our energy matters. And I thought, I don't know what this is all about, but I proceed to find out. That was my intention, And so it's like a learning curve for me, because I really didn't know any. I mean, I heard, in the world that I lived in and out of the academic world, I heard about chakras, and of course energy. I mean, and you quote Einstein in your book about energy, so I mean, I kind of knew that, but then to come smack dab into the middle of it and realize the wonder of it is what I found.
And if you hadn't took action, right, got out of your head, and if you had never gotten the book, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yeah.
So acting on your intuition.
That's so important, isn't it? It's like you mentioned the word practice when we were talking on the phone, and it is a practice that we're talking about here, And the people I read or listen to about mindfulness and that world of Buddhism, they say the same thing. They say this is a practice, and it takes time, and it takes maturity. I think we have time for one more of my findings. This is in what is called the Daily Ray of Hope. And it just started happening about a month or so ago. It's from the Sierra Club, because I joined their daily, their daily posts. And to me, it's a heart, mind, spirit, sustaining, reflective quotation. And it says, "Let go of any controlling and simply allow life to be as it is. It's in letting be that we come home to the luminosity and tenderness of natural awareness."
That's what I'm working on. I have to practice. I'm practicing.
That's it. Yeah. And I thought, and I didn't know that, we were going to talk about your practicing. All I remembered is that I find this over and over again in your thoughts in healing people, bringing them to what's really going on here and now in this presence. And I just think,
if I'm doing the reading, I'm engaged, I'm in the present moment, and I can't say anything wrong because I'm listening wholeheartedly. And then I'll say something because I have the courage to say it, and they'll go, "How did you know?" I didn't know. I'm doing Reiki, and I do it anyway Spirit tells me to do it, because I'm in the present moment. And that's why I like doing my healing or my teaching or my show, because it keeps me right there. You cannot wander when you're doing a great healing session. You cannot wander when you're doing a radio show. When I wander, you can tell I don't make any sense,
Yeah.
And if I'm practicing Reiki, then I just become, it's meditation immediately. Whatever I do seems to be perfect. It's a great place to be. But when you're talking to someone and you can hear them instead of what you're going to say next, or maybe judging them for what they said, that is not a healer. And that's what you and I do. We have this beautiful conversation. I'm never daydreaming about dinner. I'm never thinking about I should be doing something else. Yeah. I love visiting with you. We call it the art of visiting. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but the bottom line is I'm focusing, this is the one I'm working on, is staying here in the now, because God has given me, Spirit, some alone time. We were talking about being alone and relishing it and the silence. And that's where you heal, and that's where your blood pressure goes down, and take that time to heal myself.
Exactly. And that's why I was talking to you about when I talk. I hope there are writers out there that listen to this, because I needed to learn this myself, is that in the early morning hours when it's very, very quiet and it's just dawn is approaching, and I go to my writing, it's those moments of synchronicity, because I'm feeling such a connection, and it's not that I'm doing 1,000 words a minute. I may do a paragraph, half of a paragraph, or just notes about what I want them to do in their wagon as they're moving toward the port city, but it's so meditative, satisfying.
And it's like a light bulb. It's like a light bulb going off. You have an aha moment, and that's how you know you're being led by the universe, spirit, God, goddess, whatever that energy is. All of a sudden, you have insight, you have inspiration, all those imagination, creativity, and
Yes.
then you start to write, and it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good, and it's very satisfying. So, folks, if you want to move, I have to say, it's time we must end. And so I say thank you. I'm calling you now an angelic hostess. I'm imagining you at this dinner table with all these angels fluttering around, bringing in dishes.
Have you been to my house? It's full of angels. I'm crazy lady.
All right. So you're an angelic hostess, and for sharing your thoughts, I say thank you. So if you want, folks, if you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 1150 AM KKNW. But if you go to her website, Dena-Marie.com, you'll also find out about the radio show and a lot of other stuff. You'll find about her as a teacher and a healer, basically. She's also very active on Facebook with Orphan, chakra insight into chakra energy, blockage, and prescriptions. I call them remedies, and I love them. And they're like 2 full pages. I always want to go back to those. I think maybe in the next couple of times or so, we'll go and look at some of those prescriptions, because what I like about them is sometimes they're like a little on the edge, but most of the time they're very practical. Write a journal to yourself, go out on a date with yourself. You know what I mean? And I just think, yeah, man, startling photographs of the island she inhabits. You have to see her island, and she also posts a lot of photographs. My website for an interview with Dena Marie, when we were first getting to know, well, it was more than first getting to know one another, but I really interviewed her for my media section on my website. My website is anthonymanabooks.com for my Podbean podcasts, and you'll go there and you'll see Dena Marie, and you'll see a lot of other people who write books for kids, especially, and teens and tweens, because my website is a lot about nurturing readers and writers when they're young enough to begin to develop themselves into the spirit of a writer or a reader. Oh, we have to go now.
It's always a joy, Anthony Manna. That was one of my intentions today. Voila.
Voila, voila. Thank you so much. Okay, and take good care. And we'll see each other in a week's time.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.